is Florida's Caleb Banks. Really difficult evaluation because you're relying almost solely on 2024 tape that hardly played in 2025, contributed in 6 games, and to be honest, he probably shouldn't have even been entered into the role in terms of 2025 because it was just, you might as well just throw it out the window in terms of the tape you saw. There was such a lack of it. But at 6'6", £330, just massive, rare size with elite length and movement for that size, who broke out in 2024, had really good numbers, but then say that injury that he sustained in training camp in the summer just completely curtailed his season, which makes him a really interesting evaluation. So you are banking on what you saw in 2024, but I think he's been in the Senior Bowl and we looked at one of the best players there, but using that elite size and length with boundary kind of traits for the NFL, explosive potential despite limited recent production, and is really just a wild card in this class in terms of how high he can go. But you talk of prototypical physical profile, he has that. The 2024 tape showed a dynamic interior disruptor who's able to just consistently create pressure, push pockets, especially as a pass rusher, generating chaos. It's just a chaos disruptor, and he is explosive too for his size. For either a big man, he's surprisingly agile, especially laterally, and bursts off the snap. Pass rushing upside as well, so when he's engaged, he can win with explosive first step, and because of that size as well, he's able to hold his ground and shed blocks in the run game. So I think there's a lot to like about Caleb Banks. The problem is there wasn't anything really to see in 2025, so that injury availability, I'm sure he was played at the Senior Bowl, I'm sure NFL teams will start to become okay with that, and needs more technical polish, but I think there's a lot of upside to picking a player like Caleb Banks.
Yeah, Caleb Banks has things that you can't
Yeah.
teach. He's got that rare combination of length, explosiveness, and disruption that you can't always just teach those things. There is lots of things that he can and will be able to be taught. We've talked about his refinement in his leverage hands. Using his hands are not as they're very strong, big, powerful hands, but I don't know if he always has them as reactive, and his sequencing could be quicker. But when he is low, set down, gets his pad levels right, he looks really, really dominant.
Yeah.
Um, I think yes, we've seen him back at the Senior Bowl now, so I think that there's enough there to say that he's got that injuries behind him. He's finding his feet again. I think he's on that path of the draft build up. He's done the Senior Bowl. He's gonna test. They're gonna have interviews with him. I think he's somebody we're going to be talking about a lot higher than has been. I had him as number 3, for that reason. I really like Caleb Banks, and I won't be surprised if he is called earlier than anticipated a few weeks ago on night 1.
Yeah, we talk about it every year, but momentum is real when it comes to draft stock. And his, I think, will just keep going up, especially if we get to the combine and there's positive reports. I think there's a team will talk themselves into taking Caleb Banks early, and I think that's completely fair. Because you look at the 2024 season, 13% pressure rate, which is really good from the interior, and 4.5 sacks, 29 pressures in total. Really good numbers for a player who had a breakout season. You would have loved to have seen that again this year. That's the only knock you can really have on Caleb Banks, because the profile is definitely there.